All right, thank you everybody for joining on the first session of Star Wars Edge of the Empire, the Sorcerers of Rhand. All right, so we've got our cast of characters, which we will introduce in a little bit, but let's do the scrolling text. Escape from Mos Shuta. It is a period of unrest and opportunity in the galaxy. The Galactic Empire struggles to maintain control in the midst of civil war. Meanwhile, scoundrels and smugglers, explorers and expatriates, and fringers of all types scramble for a living on the edges of the galactic civilization. It is a hard life, but these renegades have more freedom and opportunity than any citizen of the core worlds. On the desert world of Tatooine, a few such renegades have run afoul of a local crime boss, Timo the Hutt. Trapped in the tiny spaceport of Mos Shuta, the renegades have no choice but to flee Timo's forces. As they flee through the sun-baked streets, the renegades duck into the local cantina to hide from their pursuers. All right, you step down a short flight of stairs into the cantina's shadowy common room. The cool air of a blessed relief from the scorching heat of Tatooine. The Deveronian bartender pauses in his chores to stare at you, his devilish features intimidating. On a stage against the far wall, a Twi'lek woman dances to recorded music. Private booths line the walls, and the cantina floor is scattered with tables and chairs. A few patrons turn in their seats to stare at you. The only other exits you see from the room are what looks to be a storage closet in one corner and a doorway behind the Twi'lek dancer. The arched roof above you is supported by a thick and heavy struts. You only have a few moments to find a hiding place before Timo's thugs arrive. What do you do?
I say we head to a booth and sit down like we've been there the whole time.
Sounds good to me. Let's grab a seat.
All right. Does anybody else wish to do something different?
Nope.
All right. So, before we start making rolls, we need to make our force pool. I need everybody to roll the force die once. Ooh, not looking good. Oh my.
Oh no.
Nice.
By my calculations, that's 5 in the dark side pool. Don't worry, things will quickly change.
Can only go up from here.
All right, so as you guys have decided to move in on an empty booth and try to blend in, we're going to need some rolls. Maybe coercion, charm, player's choice.
Could I potentially roll like cool to try and keep a level head and not panic in the situation?
Yeah, I will let you roll cool, difficulty of 2. All right. So as Phi kind of takes the first seat, he sees that there are a few kind of leftovers of ale. He grabs one like it was his own. Who's next?
Can I roll charm?
Yes, you can. Difficulty 2.
Refresh me on how that's done. Which one I roll, please?
Okay, so first you're going to find your charm skill. You can, I believe, double click that and it will add it to the box. And then you're going to need to add 2 purple difficulty die. You need to. All right.
It was only one.
So I'm gonna roll a single one since. All right, so that threat would have canceled out the advantage. Arden kind of also follows suit, immediately goes into a faux kind of conversation with Phyllis. Who's next?
I'm going to try to grab the nearest very drunk person that I can find and invite them over to our table. So looks like there's more of us than the groups that are looking for us would be expecting to find.
All right, absolutely. However, as the people saw you, you're not known to these people. We are going to give you one setback die. Difficulty 2.
Okay. Forget how to move stuff over to roll a dice for.
You should be able, I think, to click the double click the die next to your skill, and then it will put it in the small box.
Okay, and you said difficulty 2 and 1 setback?
Correct. No successes. However, you do have a couple advantages. The patron, we'll say it's a Trandoshan. He really does not like the idea of being kind of coerced he's not fooled by this. However, he does kind of look you over, and he does start a small conversation with you, but it's mostly talking shop. It looks like he's also a ne'er-do-well. And that leaves us with, do you want to go by G or G?
G.
G, okay.
Yeah, I think I'll just use my cloak, throw the hood up, and just pretend like I'm just mixing it with the crowd, trying to not look suspicious.
Okay, so a little bit of that. What skill were you thinking?
Probably just charm. It's the exact same, either charm or coercion. It wouldn't matter.
Okay. Go right ahead. Difficulty 2.
I thought we were about to get our first stealth roll.
All right. So
Hey,
go ahead.
ask. You said to turn the desktop and mic audio up just a tiny bit because it's kind of quiet.
My audio? Like my microphone?
He's saying it's just the stream entirely.
I will see what I can do. All right. So as the your Jedi companion pulls up his rather large hood, tries to blend in as though he's just kind of another patron sitting there at the bar. A few moments are going to go by. As all the parties did not make at least one single success. Moments after you hide yourselves, a small troop of pig-like Gamorreans carrying heavy bone-breaking clubs step through the door. Temo's enforcers. They blink their beady little eyes in gloom, peering about you, and then one lets loose a piercing shriek. You've been spotted. Things are about to get violent. All right, so let's roll some initiatives. As you guys are, again, you've been spotted, but you were trying to blend in. You guys may roll cool as your initiatives. You do not add any sort of difficulty die. I'm sorry, I forgot to add you guys to the tracker. All right, so we've got 1 success, 2 success, 2 success, 1 success. So here's how the party slots will go. PCs will have the first party slot, then the Gomorians, then 2, 3, and 4 as the player characters. Since this is a group kind of set initiative, you guys can select collectively who will go first. You guys are at short range to the Gomorians.
So they just burst in the front door, correct?
That is correct. Where you guys had entered.
So which one of us is closest to the entrance right now?
You are all short range away.
If your character's name is Fezzik Azar?
Yes, Fezzik.
Since you were the one like least in cover, if you wanted to go first and try and get out of harm's way, I'd support.
All right, I can work with that. Anybody have any objections?
Nope.
Okay. Then you have the initiative.
All right, I will. Can I use a maneuver to hop over the bar and position myself behind it for cover?
Absolutely. So you spend 1 maneuver. You move behind the bar. You still have an action.
I will go ahead and fire my cryoband projector.
Okay. So,
no idea how to do that.
okay. So what you're going to do, your difficulty is based off of range. As you just kind of moved across the bar, you were still within short range of the Gomorians.
All right, it's a short range weapon, so that works.
So difficulty will be 1.
Difficulty 1.
Difficulty 1 because of short range.
Okay. I don't see a way to give an automatic advantage because I have a cybernetic that gives me an automatic advantage on heavy weapons checks.
So as you roll, we'll just manually kind of input it and add it into the equation.
Okay.
All right, 2 successes, 3 advantage. Damage is calculated off the base weapon damage plus any successes that you have.
Okay, so that'd be a total of 8 damage. And can I use my advantages to... you know what? Can I forget how many it takes to frick the blast feature of my weapon?
It should be listed as one of the qualities on that weapon. Which weapon is it?
The cryoband projector.
I think it just has that quality. I'm not seeing it listed within the weapon itself.
Pretty sure you have to trigger it. Let me double check.
It is designed to put out fires.
Yeah. Yeah, blast is an active thing, so it's 2 advantage to activate any active weapons unless it says otherwise.
Okay.
Active feature.
That is good to know.
So I'll spend 2 advantage to activate the blast quality. And it's blast 6. So I think that's how much damage anybody within engaged range to the target it takes.
All right. So as you fire this, it seems more like a makeshift weapon at this point, as opposed. I mean, again, it's like a high-tech fire extinguisher. You pop up behind the bar. You fire your first blast. It smacks the first Gamorrean right in the face. The spray arches out, hits the other Gamorreans. They shriek in pain as the first Gamorrean drops. Now.
Oh, and that is I just double checked, and it takes blast 6 and any successes, so it's the same 8 as
Okay.
the original attack.
All right. Thank goodness for the Gamorrean hardiness. So, they are going to split off. They don't want anything to do with the business end of that kind of blaster nozzle there. They move over to the party, kind of still somewhat seated around the table. They're each going to attack once on each character. So, let's see. First strike on Arden. 3 successes. He brings his axe to bear, striking Arden squarely. You will suffer 8 points of damage minus your soak.
Where in my sheet would I put that down?
In the combat section.
Yep. So you would add it to your current wounds, but make sure you subtract any sort of soak value that you have. So in your case, you have 2 soak. So you would reduce that to 6. Very good. Another Gamorrean rushes over to the table, eyeing Phyllis. And because we have so many dark side points, two successes. He brings his axe to bear for a total of 7 damage minus your soak. The next Gamorrean moves over to strike against the Jedi. He does not strike. However, he is going to boost one of his allies in the next turn. All right, party has the 3, 4, 5 slots. You guys decide.
Would there be any complaints if I went ahead and went?
I disagree. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
All right.
No
Wow.
objection.
Cool. So me and Arden were sharing a table, so both of the Gamorreans have approached us.
That is correct. You are engaged.
Could I use a maneuver to kick up the table and shove it at the 2 Gamorreans that approached us?
All right. Yeah, absolutely. So, essentially what that's going to do as you kick over the table, it is going to offer you and Arden 1 setback die when they attack against you. You still have an action.
If it's just a light thing that I'm gonna like an object to interact with, is it a free maneuver
Yeah.
type thing?
Like incidentals, like opening a door, interacting with an item, things like that are free.
Okay, can I take, if you'll let me, Arden, can I take her drink she was using and toss it between the Gamorreans and shoot it with my slug?
I mean, I guess so, but you're gonna have to pay me back for it.
You guys stole the drinks anyways.
I know.
Okay, you're still going to have to make a strike as you are engaged by somebody. You are still going to suffer a setback die on your attack.
Does that pool look right?
Yes. Oh. So you toss the mug high and you let loose with your slug blast. It completely misses. The mug falls to the floor and shatters. Next party slot.
I'll go if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will use my one advantage to give a bonus die to Arden's next.
Very good. As she is engaged with you, you can certainly do that.
I'll give you a wink and don't miss like I did.
She'll bring out her blaster and kind of give Fyrus a little, not a hard shove, but like a you're shit at your job kind of.
Right.
Get out of the way. So how do I do that? How do I?
That's an incidental.
Okay. And then can I fire at one of the two pig?
You can. As you are engaged, you are going to also suffer a setback, but your companion also gave you a boost die.
Okay, so what am I rolling for this?
So, you are going to have to roll your attack plus a setback plus a boost, and the difficulty is 2 because you're engaged.
Your weapon should have automatically done in the combat page.
Yep, and then 2 purple die. See, you guys are becoming experts already.
That's good.
Yep, and roll them. Oh, another failure. However, you did get 4 advantages as you guys are firing nonstop kind of at these characters, glass hitting the floor. They're going to be slightly distracted for a moment, offering you guys a little bit of reprieve. Essentially, they're going to suffer another setback die on their attacks. Okay, that round has ended. We're at round 2.
No, we have one more person.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry, Moon.
No, that's fine. I'm just gonna pull out my lightsaber and hit the one that was attacking me.
All right, you can certainly do that. As you are engaged, it's 2 difficulty. Very.
Okay.
Yep, looks good. Success and a threat. As you bring your blade down across this Gamorrean, his eyes just kind of get extra beady. They're not accustomed to seeing such a blade. as it strikes across his chest, you dealing 7 points of damage. Just because of everything that's going on, you are going to suffer 1 strain from that threat.
Okay.
Nice job, though.
He's not looking good. Score mark across his chest. Okay, top of the order. You have 1 player slot. Who's going?
Moon could go again and maybe take out the one she was engaged with.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds like you've got the floor.
Okay, we'll do it again.
Yep, same rolls. Ooh, failure. As you bring your blade back down, the Gamorrean, who was almost shrieking in pain from the first one, was just out of range of your strike. However, you do have an advantage if you wish to spend it.
Yeah, we'll give a boost.
Okay, so it will be to the next person in combat. However, the Gamorreans are going to act on the next initiative. So, same thing. They're going to do attacks against you, 1 on each. We will do the Jedi first. He brings his axe to bear, and he took this moment, and with an upward swing momentum, he's going to catch you, dealing 8 points of damage minus your soak.
Okay.
The next Gamorrean will attack Arden. As you guys have built up the momentum, he has quite a few setbacks against him. Ooh, he's going to suffer some threat. However, he is going to score a strike for 7 points minus your soak. It seemed that was pretty strenuous on him. Next on Phi. A miss. However, he seems to be able to kind of compensate for some of the distraction. The table is still in the way, but on his next swing, he will not be at such setbacks. And it is now the party's turn.
Well, I think that Arden needs to get away.
Certainly can do that. A maneuver will put you at short range.
Okay, so if I move away, I'm still able to use my blaster.
Absolutely, you can.
I'm gonna.
Are you going to move away?
Yeah.
Arden takes this opportunity in combat to kind of leap over the table, rushing to the center of the crowd, pulls her blaster, and
Two purples.
1 purple because you were at short range.
And that's it.
And that's it. Success. As you pull your blaster, firing straight into his shoulder, he drops his axe-like cudgel and crumples to the floor. You do have an advantage to spend if you wish. And technically that should have been with a boost die as well. So we'll do this. Okay, no result, so it didn't change. You can recover strain 1 for 1, or you can give the next combatant in the turn a boost die.
I'll pass it on. I'll give it to the next person.
All right, who's next?
I can try and take another shot with my cryo ban at whoever's looking the weakest.
The
Go ahead.
weakest looking one is probably the one engaged with Phyllis.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
Actually, can I use the aim maneuver first?
Yes, you can. So you can give yourself a boost die plus another boost die and difficulty of 1.
The difficulty of 1, you said?
Yes, difficulty is always based off of range.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is a miss, but you have a lot of...
Yeah, that's with another 6.
So you can give the next combatant a boost die. For 2, you can choose who you give it to.
I think there's only one person left to turn.
It carries over round for round. You could
So
choose 2
who's-
people, actually, to give boost dice to.
And I'll do that to the 2 that are still in case they need.
Which 2?
The 2 that are still engaged.
Okay, so that would be G and Phi. And we have one more combatant to go.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and do a pistol blast against the one in front of.
Okay. And you got a boost die. Ugh, another near miss. Again, he's bolstered himself. He's kind of dealing with the setbacks. Your fire arc just goes wide, firing and hitting into the ceiling.
Well, I would like to use the 2 advantages to give him a setback on his next.
Okay, we can absolutely do that. All right,
And-
top of the order, I believe, unless you had a maneuver.
Yeah, could I use a maneuver to do assist? Do they have to be by me to do that, or can I do it from across the room?
How are you wishing to assist?
Could my shot that have gone wide maybe momentarily distracted the one still engaged?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you fire off your blast, the other one sees how close it may have come to him. He will be at a setback. That would be the one engaged with the Jedi.
Yee.
All right, top of the order. Who's going?
Arden and Fezzik seem to have the best aim in the group.
Take another.
Okay, you attacking the one that is engaged with Virus or the one engaged with the Jedi?
Which one did I attack last time?
The one attacking Virus.
I'll keep shooting at him.
All right.
Do the same thing. And
Yep, short range. Success. All right. So you strike him square in the back. He freezes for a moment before collapsing on the floor. All right, there's one Gamorrean left, and it is his turn. However, he's at some setbacks here.
Can I spend my advantage to throw him another setback? Maybe
Yeah.
seeing that his allies fall is giving him a little shake in his boots.
Absolutely. Did you say anything to him?
I'll turn and shout at him. You see what happens to your friends? It's gonna happen to you next.
Another dark side point. All right. So he is going to upgrade. Knowing he's the last one left, he puts everything he has in this last attack, trying to bring fame to himself, to be the one that brought a Jedi down. All right. So 2 successes. G, you will take 7 points of damage minus your soak. However, this is a very strenuous activity on him. He has almost nothing left. All right. Party has the floor.
Who wants to be cleanup?
I'll go.
All
Just
right.
to retaliate back. I believe I have a
Yep,
boost that as well.
Success. You bring your blade down, striking him between kind of on the neckline and down. He falls to the floor. The crowd is looking around in kind of anticipation. Some people are fingering their blasters, but none of them come to bear. The Deveronian kind of looks at you guys.
Fi will kind of nudge the frozen over pigman with his boot and say, "Well, barkeep, I didn't ask for my drink on ice, but 5-star review."
He looks at you. Thanks. Now get out. As he points to the door.
I will skedaddle as quickly out as possible, but before I leave, I'll sidle up next to G. No Jedi mind trick. These are not the criminals you're looking for.
I just give him a look and then walk out.
All right. So, again, you're on the baked streets of Tatooine. You guys make it back to your ship. Precious cargo is in tow. Great job dealing with the first encounter here. This is basically from the beginner's book. I think it's just a great intro into the system. Everybody is going to receive 5 experience points. Now, you can only spend them out of session. So go ahead and record that on your sheets. At this point, we're going to do a little bit of a flashback. What brought you all here? You find yourselves on a remote space station. You've been summoned by a Bith named Juxta Wren. As you guys all kind of come into the common room, he's kind of repurposed this. You can see he has all sorts of fine art on display. Many opulent things decorate the walls and the room. As you guys again enter in, he will speak to you. Thank you all for coming. I know it was a little difficult in finding your way here, considering all the chaos that is going on in the galaxy. But I think if you will just listen to me, I think we can come to a understanding, a mutual and financial benefit to us all. Please have a seat. Anybody not sitting?
I'll sit.
I will stand behind, like, behind my chair and lean over the back of it and light a smoke.
Awesome.
I will basically fall back with the chair immediately and spread.
All right.
Yeah, Arden just kind of flops down rudely.
All right. As you guys kind of all sit down, again, thank you all for coming. A little about myself. My name is Juxta Rin. I am a philanthropist, a scholar. I am also very interested in the mystic art. Thank you very much. Thank your order. And as he turns to Ji, thank you very much for having your order send someone. I truly appreciate it, as he kind of taps on his chest. So let's get down to business. I have come across this, and as he kind of moves his hands over the desk across the hollow display, he'll kind of flip his hand up, and a holographic image will start to appear. It is of a very specific type of item. As you can see, it is not complete, as he points to kind of think of a rod, just a short kind of staff. It seems to be, it's a hologram, but it seems to be made of some odd, dense, thick black material. I believe this will help us find our way to the Wills.
Maybe I'm just the only one here that's not on board, but what am I looking at right now?
Yes, but Virus, I apologize. I know you may have some apprehensions, but this is one half of a set I've come across in my readings, and he'll throw up another image. It is, think of a dagger that has 4 points to it. I've come across an antiquities dealer that I believe has the second half. It is, to my understanding, a map of sorts. If we could only discover the Wills, and he just kind of goes off on a 5-minute, almost like a scholarly or collegiate level dissertation. He cuts himself off. Oh, I apologize. I get carried away. It just crosses my mind now that none of you actually know each other. I think a proper introduction would be due. And he kind of gestures towards the party. Who would like to introduce their character first?
Fi will look around and kind of cough, put out his light. Straighten up. Well, I don't know how he dragged you lot out of whatever corner of the galaxy you came from. My name is Fyrus Linde. I'm a pilot, and looks like I'm responsible for getting you guys where you need to go.
Thank you, Virus.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
Fez will just grunt, kind of raise his hand in a hey, get your attention over here kind of a thing, and say, name's Fezzik Lodos. I guess if you're the pilot, I'm going to be the one taking care of the bucket of bolts that we'll be flying around in.
Now there's someone that can speak the language.
Thank you, Fezzik.
Arden kind of straightens up as well and shrugs her shoulders. I'm Arden. I'm just here for the money. I'll be straight. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do.
He'll quirk an eyebrow and look at the Biff like, why?
Now, thank you, Arden, for loaning us your skill with a blaster. And that will finally leave us with you, as he points to the Jedi.
Yes, I am Padawan G. Xilo Zenz. I'm with the Jedi Order, and they have sent me here on this mission to acquire knowledge not only for our friend Juxta here, but for the Jedi as well.
Yes, thank you. Well put. Anything that we discern, it is my hope to spread throughout the galaxy, maybe quell some of this chaos that is going on. So let's get down to the brass tacks. I have arranged a meeting. There is a. He kind of laughs under his breath, but he continues talking. Kind of a ne'er do well on Tatooine. If you can make your way to Mos Shuta, and I have arranged a meeting with a kind of scoundrel. His name is Jet Nova. He has assured me that my payment has been received, and he has the item in question. At first, it will be merely just a quick pickup, but as we discover where this leads us, I intend to lean on you in helping us guide our way to this discovery of the wills. Any questions?
Right. What kind of timeline are we looking at here?
He kind of looks at you for the first time. That question kind of hits his mind. Well, I imagine however much time it would take. I will compensate you very, very well.
Right. Well,
How
I'm
does the
assuming
sum of 25,000 credits each sound?
that shuts them up.
Yes, I thought the money would kind of get you going.
Well, if you had that in you the whole time, windbag, you should have led with it.
Yes, sorry. Negotiations are not my strong suit, but I felt a strong hand as he kind of pounds his desk very, very limply. Was in order. So, if you will go to Mashuta and collect the item, I would be most appreciative. Please take my droid. I think he will come in handy. As he kind of presses a button on the desk, this will appear. It kind of half floats, half walks out. It doesn't really speak at first. It kind of its servos kind of twirl and spin around. You can see a large optic will kind of gaze at each of you, coming in and out of focus, similar to how like a camera would do. This is SPDR. I think you will find he is quite skilled, but if you get into a combat scenario, I do not believe he will be of much benefit.
He's cute.
So, what
Tell-
precisely is his talent?
Well, bypassing security systems, for one. Ha 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 ha. He can also analyze data. He can partially assist you with any sort of astrogation checks that you may find yourselves coming across. And he is quite skilled at poetry.
That droid sounds more qualified than I am.
Perhaps, but it will not work for credits.
And how are we getting here?
All right, so we're going to come out of character. You guys had all decided on a ship.
Yeah, I think we decided on the E9, correct?
Yeah.
Do the player
That's what I
characters
heard.
have any care on how you acquire said ship? If not, it's just going to be either given to the party to use or you acquired it by other means.
I absolutely don't care.
You
It
had
could
said
have come
some.
from my background from escaping the huts,
Okay.
but other than that,
All
I
right.
don't have any
Let's go ahead and role play that out. But first, I think you will need a ship.
Well, I may have that covered.
Oh, very good.
You
It's a
have
little,
it.
wanted, so to speak, but I don't think anybody's looking for it yet.
You fix them up. You provide the ship. You're my new favorite already.
Do what I can.
All right. Anything else that you wish to speak to the Bith about? If not, we're going to jump forward in time after the cantina scene where you guys arrive at the ship.
I think that's it.
That's it from me.
All right, so jumping back forward in time, you guys, as you board the ship, you remember your conversations with the Bith. You have the other half of the item in tow. As you guys, again, find the safety of the ship, finally a moment to relax, at least for a few, until Timo sends his thugs after you. Who wants to look at the object?
I'll examine it.
All right. As you pull out the object from its small kind of plasteel case, you will see essentially the dagger head. And I'm going to give you guys a picture of what it looks like assembled. It is not made of steel. It is not made of any known stone. But it definitely has that hard exterior. It has heft.
So, as Fi is up at the front of the ship starting to get things warming up, he'll look back over at it. So, Jedi friend, do you know how that's supposed to lead us anywhere? Because it just looks like a beating instrument to me.
As I'm looking over it, do I notice anything like distinguishing features like marks, etches, ruins, any kind of like...
So, as you examine it, the first thing that you're going to notice, it's very hard to see, but the rod in the dagger portion, you can see some very fine thread work. It looks like they would interlock if you were to twist them together.
No leads either.
Uh, do I like recall ever seeing something like this before?
You could make, let's do a lore check. Difficulty 3. Unfortunately not. You cannot identify the material which would have led you to a planet. You do not recall of any sort of object like this in the past. However, you got a couple advantages here. You can see by inspecting this dagger again, it is almost imperceivable at first. Most people would just dismiss it right off. But running down the lengths of each of the blade, you can see almost a fine, we're going to call it like a hairline crack, but it is not crack. It is almost surgical precision down the blades. It looks like with the right manipulation, it can contort.
Okay, I'll tell that to the rest of the party then.
So we're looking at a fancy stone candlestick.
Yeah, it is still in 2 pieces.
Well, guess we're gonna have to wait to stick it in the candelabra.
What is the candelabra?
Together.
You put the candlestick in the candelabra.
All right, who's doing so?
Well, that'd be my specialty.
All right. So the gank goes over and investigates these 2 pieces. He starts to twist them together. Right at the moment where you get the 2 pieces fully joined, you know how your thread and pipe and you can feel the end coming? The dagger almost springs to life. In Orabesh, down the heft of the blade is one single word. Akiva. So, everybody can make an outer rim check, difficulty 2.
What was the language you said it was in?
Orabesh.
Do I need to add anything?
Just 2 difficulty.
Yeah.
All right. So, we did end up with a party 1 success. Akiva. That is the name of a planet. It is in the outer rim. It is fairly close to Tatooine. Let's see. We've got a bunch of advantages. All right. So Akiva, you guys know its rough location. You know this. Akiva is a hot, humid planet in the outer rim territories, famous for its thunder and rainstorms. The planet has a terrestrial atmosphere and experiences frequent rain, called Mawsim, during the wet season. Storm ladders were common, made of chains bundled up on the top of roofs, used during bad storms so they can get people out of the ground quickly in case of a flash flood. Its surface was known to have jungles and canyons. More advantages. Akiva was once home to the Ahai-Ko, an ancient species who built great temples on the planet's jungle wilderness. Ahai-Ko people believed that the water in the planet's canyons was so pure that it could cleanse one of their sins and leave them a better person.
So candlestick's gonna lead us to the bird bath. Have any of you ever been there before, or?
This is my
Not
first
me.
real outdoors experience, in a manner of speaking.
What does the party wish to do?
Well, what do you guys think? It's close enough. I could probably get us right there, or do we have to go back to our employer first?
I mean, he seems like he trusted us enough to get our shit done, so.
For want of nothing but saving the fuel, I just want to maybe hit it right now.
I don't think he expects us to check in until we're done.
Did we have like a reliable means of communicating with him? Did we have his phone number?
You have his space number.
Well, if y'all just want to go ahead, I'll load up the ship, and sooner we get out of here, better. But maybe while we fly, one of y'all can get him on the hollow recorder, or however it is.
Sounds good enough.
The Samsung Galaxy S30.
Right? All right. So if you're wanting to jump to Akiva, you will have to make an astrogation check. Either a party member can do it or the droid can do it, but you're not quite sure his capabilities. He can also lend assistance as well, if you like.
Fi has a little experience with it, but he's no expert. So if anyone else has skills,
I'm just smart. I'm not especially good at that.
Arden
Yeah,
is
same.
useless.
well, as Captain Fi can do it maybe with the droids.
Okay. He is going to lower the difficulty by 1. So you will have an astrogation check, difficulty 1. Alrighty. And I believe somebody else said that they were going to phone home. Was that correct as well?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. So you open up the communications network and patch in to the Beth. Oh, greetings. I did not expect to hear from you so soon. Is everything okay?
Yeah. Everything's fine. We found something on the weapon you gave us, and we're headed over to the planet that was listed on there.
Oh, what planet?
Kiva.
Oh, Kiva. Yes, the temples. There must be something there. Yes, you must investigate right away.
We're heading on over, dude. Can't go any faster.
That's great. I look forward to your next report. Juxta out.
Alrighty then.
Okay, so Fyrus sets up the astrogation. He gets you guys there, but there was a lot of wasted time. Roughly another half day was added to this journey. You guys arrive at Akiva. The sphere outside is a kind of a gorgeous, almost emerald green looking planet. You can see its beautiful blue lakes. There seems to be, well, I can let you guys use some sensors if you wish. Do we have stats for the ship yet? I know we might have to hold off on that until next session till we get it built into the system.
Yeah, I don't think we've programmed anything in for that.
Okay, so is anybody? Well, it's probably the gank. You're probably trained in, let's see, mechanics, in computers. Yeah, why don't you make me a computer check? Difficulty is going to be 1.
Okay.
Wow, you guys are terrible at rolls. This is amazing.
Right?
You rolled coordination, not computers.
What's that?
So I did.
You rolled the wrong thing.
Would have been the same dice, though, unfortunately.
Okay, so we'll still go with that result. As you kind of scan over the planet, you're really coming up with two temples that are of note to the characters. One seems to be along the equator. It's going to be incredibly hot this time of year, and one is not quite to the poles, but maybe 3/4 the distance between the equator and the southern pole. Decision times.
And you're absolutely sure that the Biff didn't have any advice on which temple to go to, Arden?
I didn't ask. He didn't tell.
Which one has the better weather?
Define better.
Not hot.
That would be the one towards the southern hemisphere.
Are either of them in the middle of a flash flood?
Do they have a weather radar in space?
Live 5 News.
Let's see here.
Alexa, what's the weather like on Akiva?
Neither one appears.
You're not allowed to say Alexa in this group.
Does it activate your thing? Work mode and engaged. Anyways, it appears that neither one is currently suffering from any flash flooding.
So am I putting her down in the south?
Sounds good enough to me.
All right, so now you are also offered another choice. As this is a habitable planet, you can try to find port, which would cost you credits, or you could try to find someplace close-ish that you might be able to set her down.
Well, would we know what kind of people currently habitat Akiva?
All right, so I think there's a breakdown. 1 second.
I don't mind port, but I don't want to go into a port full of people that might be sympathetic to the hut we just ran away from.
Well, as it is close proximity to Tatooine, there is a limited influence, but it is not in like officially hut space. Breakdown, you're looking at roughly 40% human and then a good mix of other races.
Well, what's a group consensus? I'm fine with port, but if y'all want to put a little faith in my ability to land this thing in rough terrain, I'll give.
Do we really know you well enough to trust you yet, though?
Probably not, but I haven't killed you thus far.
That and you don't have a lot of choice.
Fine.
I say we go to.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I say we go to port.
All right.
I'm fine either way.
Bunch of tepid drinks. All right, port it is.
All right, so as you kind of come in to the port, they will give you a landing berth. They're going to tell you with taxes and fees, they're going to charge you 25 credits per day that the ship is docked. However, it does offer things such as protection. There are crews that can refill any lost fuel. They can also work on repairs if you need. Since it is a sprawling city, you have access to pretty much everything that the city would offer. And you are in the capital city, Mira.
All right. As we unload, I'll, just talk to the people that I'm assuming come mess with the ship and just top her up, keep her safe. We should be back before too long.
Yeah, the dock guards and quartermaster will definitely take care of the ship. Somebody is going to need to pay the 25 credits or split it amongst yourselves. So somebody take care of that, or as a group. As you guys are walking out of the port, a EotE will kind of approach the party. Oh, friends, welcome. First time to Akiva?
From the looks of it, it sounds like we're all tourists.
Oh, tourists. What have you come for? Swimming in the Great Lake? Exploring the great temples? Big game hunting?
I'll kind of nudge up Arden a bit and say, she's having a bit of religious awakening. Thought we'd do a little hermitage up to the temple.
Oh, that's great. I can be your guide. I've been there many times, I have.
What's your cost?
Oh, just enough to feed myself and my 17 children.
We'll pass. We can find our way up there ourselves.
The jungles can be quite dangerous.
That a
We
threat?
can be quite dangerous if you don't back off.
Yes. Did you pull a blaster? Or how far are you going with this threat?
Nah, she's just talking to him.
Okay. Yes. I see you. You're probably well-to-do. A free bit of advice. I would not swim in such waters. Good day. And he kind of scurries off.
Well, that was not very hospitable of you, Arden.
Asking us to feed 17 children isn't very hospitable either. Fire us.
For all we know, he had 17 children. I
That's
don't know, that
not
might...
my problem.
He looked quite promiscuous.
I was gonna say, that might be handsome for a week.
Nah. I mean, if you really want to go kiss his ass, you can go follow him, but it's not my...
I'm starting to see why you were asked to come along.
All right, so you guys have stated that you wish to go to the temple. It is a short trek through the jungle. You guys know that you could also rent speeder bikes, or you could rent something like an EotE or something to kind of help get you there faster.
Are y'all disinclined to walking, or are we good?
I don't mind walking, and I'm a bit hard up for cash.
Sounds good to me.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you guys trek through the jungle, you hear all sorts of sounds of animals. Just the threat and the arduous journey alone is going to strain your characters. Everyone is going to suffer 3 strain. As you approach... Go ahead.
Sorry, how much would we have healed from the last encounter?
Good question. We haven't gone over that healing mechanic.
Wasn't the last encounter in the future?
No, we were at present time. So here was the order of things. We started off with the encounter. Then we went back for why you were at the encounter. And then we were at present as you guys were on the ship. So, in chronological order, you would have met the Bith. He would have sent you to Tatooine to collect the item. You then went to the ship. You discovered that Akiva was next on the list.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
All right. I think healing, you get to roll cool. I don't have my book open, but at some point we will take care of that. But for now, suffer the 3 strain as I open up the book.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's no problem.
Ignore that.
That was our first try.
I know,
What?
right?
Oh, man.
You wasted it.
First, she scares off just a man trying to feed his children.
If you don't like it, you could have spoke up.
We all gotta get a little bit more loosey-goosey. Let you spit your vitriol while I
Oh
can.
no, the site is down. All right, so so at some point I'll look up those rules. I'll have to Google it, or if anybody wants to look it up in the background, feel free. But I would like to keep going. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I just popped it into the chat.
yeah, that would be great.
It's in Discord.
That is for rest. There is a mechanic for after battles. I believe it's you roll cool, and then any successes you recover a wound. Any advantages you recover strain.
I think that's just for strain. But yeah, it's no worries. We can mess with it.
We'll look it up. Unfortunately, I didn't have the book open, which I wouldn't have been able to anyways. As you guys, again, trek through the jungle, you come up to the first clearing, and you see a great lake that is surrounding this massive ziggurat. It stretches into the sky. You would estimate 150 feet or so. The lake covers a good third of the ground around it. You can see some people moving in and around, taking hollows of this spectacle.
Somehow, part of me thought this was going to be like an abandoned temple.
No, you are on the Disney World of Akiva. Again, you can see sightseers around. Looks like there's some crew around. They're probably in charge in keeping the forestation back and away from it. Though you do see some heavy load lifters around as well.
Load lifters?
Yeah, heavy equipment used to move heavy things.
Oh, okay.
Are there? You said were there any like worker type, official type people milling about?
You can certainly find one. As you take a few moments searching around, you're going to suffer 1 strain for that, but eventually you'll find somebody who seems to be part of some association with the temple. It is a Shadra fan.
Hey, friend, can I talk at you for a minute?
Yes, of course.
Me and my friends back there are just taking a little tour of the temple, and we see all this equipment around. Are you renovating?
Renovating's no. They found a new section. They did. It's closed to the public.
Oh, really? Really? When will the exhibit be open?
Well, barring any sort of complications, I would say sometime in 7 months.
Well, that is unfortunate. Looks like we'll have to already schedule our return trip. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, but many more things to see.
Of course, of course. It's just so exciting whenever a new wing opens up. Thank you for your information, friend.
Yes, yes, of course, but be careful. Don't stray out into the jungle. It is quite dangerous.
All right, and I will head back over to the group if they weren't with me. So, looks like maybe someone's beat us to it. They say they found another lair in the temple and they're opening it up right now. It's close to the public.
I don't suppose Juxta'd be open to the idea of paying for us to hang out here and relax for 7 months.
Well, I wouldn't mind collecting those checks. No, I doubt it. What do you guys think? Should we press an exploration, or do you want to check out the other temple? Maybe this is the wrong way anyway.
We can try and see how close we can get to this next area and see if we can find any clues along the way.
Sneaking
Sound
around's not exactly my strong suit, but if you find any locked doors, I know my way around those.
Let's try not to get caught doing anything wrong this early in our journey, but yeah, we'll have to just take a look around and see. It might be a dead end.
All right, so you guys are just going to look around inside the temple, outside the temple, specific to that area.
Do we want to split up and take, like, different tour routes?
I mean, wouldn't the tours all go in the same path?
I just didn't know if, like, someone wanted to check the outside top-ish, some of us go inside, or whichever.
Do you really trust me to go by myself?
You're a big girl.
Yeah, who cuts off men with 17 children, apparently.
Never gonna live it down.
No, I'm not actually.
If not, we'll probably maybe just head on inside.
All right. So heading inside?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Oh.
as we go inside, I want to look to see if, like, I notice anything that's built out of the same material as the dagger and rod.
Even without a check, you have never seen a material quite like this.
Is our little droid friend with us, or did we leave him in the ship?
Nobody said otherwise, but, for a force point, he could be right at your guys' side.
Who left the baby in the car?
But we didn't because I'll use a force point.
Somebody thought about leaving the baby in the car.
Please input.
Input what?
Input query.
What did you want him for?
I just didn't know if we had forgotten him. I wanted to. I don't know. Does he know anything particular about this at all?
What is this?
If there's been any news or documentation regarding the new era that he would know about or be able to pull from the.
One moment, processing.
He's going to go into a cycle, and after several minutes of kind of computing, he seems to be pulling information from everywhere that he can.
It seems they have found a temple under the temple.
Very illuminating.
It appears to be some sort of geofront. Very old. Nothing else known.
Could be our spot.
Very well could be. What does the inside of the temple look like generally?
It's a ziggurat. So, unlike the pyramids of Egypt, which have the smooth sides, a ziggurat has the stair-stepped. You would imagine probably multi-floored.
And what between like maybe brochures or looking around, we know like what kind of function this temple has?
According to the information that you had, it was probably built by the Ahai Ko in worship to their deities.
Well, do we want to try and get close to the restricted section, maybe?
I'm down.
All right. How do you wish to gain access?
I think we'll just go to like where they have the red velvet lines first and peer around.
Okay. If you are just kind of peering around, make a perception check.
Here's the part where I pay for talking out. What kind of difficulty?
Let's see. You're kind of discerning things. We will set this at an average difficulty 2.
The average is 1.
2. 1 is easy.
Can I also do a perception check?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, somebody help him.
Well, he succeeded. So, as Phi is looking around, you are going to see where the excavation crews are digging up the earth. It seems like they've dug some sort of kind of channel down. Off in the distance, you do see another spot where they had dug. However, as you're kind of lurking around, 2 of kind of the officiants of this place walk over and notice exactly what is kind of going on here. The human will speak. You're not supposed to be back here.
Well, sorry, just thought we'd take a look around. It's not every day you see something like this.
So that lot is with you? The other human speaks up.
I'm just me. I'm the only one with him.
He'll quickly grab her hand. It's like, yeah, this is my girlfriend. Just taking her out on a stroll around the temple.
It seems kind of deception-y.
I can do it.
Please.
Okay. Difficulty 2. As you guys are in an area where you really shouldn't be, add 1 setback die as well.
Good.
Yes. Oh, look at that triumph. So, as they're kind of really at first not buying your story, Arden gets really close to Phyrus to show just how far she's willing to go to kind of prove that they are indeed, their story is true. And they're kind of like, PDA almost. They don't really like it. Anyways, this is a restricted area. I suggest you move along. However, you are going to suffer 2 strain, Arden.
Yeah, having to be that close to him.
Right. Yeah, of course, we'll get right out of your way. Come on, dear, there's probably a more secluded area around the other side.
Oh, really?
And GTFOing.
Nice.
As soon as they clear a corner of the ziggurat and are out of line of sight from him, Fi's gonna drop her hand and just go and wipe it on the brick.
Yeah.
What are the other
Why
2
I charge
doing? You
people for
guys see this entire scenario before you.
Fezzik is going to approach the 2 humans and say, "Finally, I've been looking around for somebody who knows what they're doing. I'm the mechanic was hired. I heard there was a malfunctioning loader down here. Nobody seems to know anything about it."
Make me a deception check, because there are loaders in the area. Add a boost die. It seems pretty plausible, I think. We'll put that at a difficulty 1.
Okay.
No successes. I don't remember anybody hiring anybody. Well, he kind of looks you over, and knowing what your character looks like, they're over there, but be quick about it. We're watching you.
All right, and I guess I will head through and over to the loaders.
Okay. So that leaves 1 other character.
I think I'm just gonna like keep like milling around in like the general area that I'm still at, just to see if as it can like report back soon.
So you're going to kind of stay there, wait to see if the others return? Are you kind of like watching their back, or?
Yeah, kind of just like in case something terrible happens, that I can be in the middle just to help out.
All right, so I guess kind of blending in a little bit. Let's go with probably coercion might be the best to blend in, or if you want to really blend in, you could make kind of a stealth check as well to less blend in, more just kind of slink away. Let me know what you decide.
We'll do coercion.
Okay. Difficulty is going to be 1, as most of the characters are preoccupied. Go ahead and take 2 bonus die.
2 boosts, you said?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
2 advantages as well. So you do your best to kind of blend in with the crowd. Also, I do need to point out, since we're suffering strain a lot, if you are going to spend advantages to recover strain, please let me know as well. That way I don't, if you spend them to recover strain, they don't add kind of to the narrative. All right, so you do your best to kind of blend in, but as you're kind of Sorarian, you're head and shoulders above most of the people here. You don't blend in super well, but you do find another group that's similar in size to you, that you kind of move over and kind of use it to your advantage to blend in a little better. All right, what's next?
Want to see what you're doing, Physic?
Yeah, I do already kind of have an idea. I'm going to try to do what every mechanic does and break something while I'm fixing something.
All right, so you're going to do some work on one of these load lifters?
Yeah, I'm going to pretend like I'm working on repairing it while I'm actually sabotaging something to put up a distracting show later.
All right, so just looking over your character sheet real quick. Make me a mechanics check, easy, 1 boost die.
Check something. And I'll also have automatic advantage on that from Hydrospanner.
Sure.
Look right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that triumph. What kind of effect were you going for?
Something not actually like super dangerous to everybody around, but enough that it would draw the attention of everyone around, so I could like sneak off further into the ruins.
Okay, so as you're kind of tinkering away at this load lifter, you know where the fuel cells lie and everything. You can make a short burst of flame. So you set your task to your task, and after a few moments and the final twist, a jet of flame comes up out of the load lifters. The crowd and ahs as some of the kind of the officiants start to move over in this direction. You will be able to kind of use this to your advantage to slink off. G, you see that Fezzik has created a distraction, an opening for you. What do you wish to do?
Can I try and then follow Fezzik?
Yep, not a
Wherever he's
problem.
going?
Considering everything that's has been going your guys' way, you'll be able to slink off. The party reunites on the other side. Before you see kind of plasteel, like cellar type doors. It is unlocked. Heading down?
Did me and Arden group back up with them as well?
Yes, the party is reunited.
Alrighty. Yeah, taking up the rear, I will kind of usher them forward, like, come on, they won't keep them for long.
All right, as you open up the doors and find the stairs down, you go down maybe 3-4 meters before it levels off, and you can see kind of a makeshift lift that will descend down. The players hop aboard. With a few keystrokes, the lift starts to descend. At first, it's mostly just dark, only the glow rods giving any sort of illumination on your way down. After roughly 50, 60 meters, the ground just opens up before you into this geofront. Down below, you can see mostly darkness as you have very little light source, but you can see the temple structure above, and shifted off to one side, a reverse kind of ziggurat pointing down. The lift continues down and down until finally hitting the surface below. You can smell the moisture in the air. There is some sort of lake that is close, and the bottom level of the ziggurat is flush with the ground. It is roughly 15, 20 meters to the side. So you have basically 2 points of interest. The reverse ziggurat, or there is some sort of lake that is close by.
Can we use our droid buddy to turn on like a flashlight? Does he have?
The droid buddy did not move with the party with the distractions.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, if I can reach into his pack if need be, and I do have a glow rod I can crack and
Perfect.
turn on.
All right. You pull it out, and it illuminates your path. You can kind of see the ground below. It is a mixture of both dirt and the black kind of consistency of like topsoil.
Well, I think the temple looks like a pretty smart place to hide something, but anyone else smell water near here?
I mean, if you want me to take a look, this suit is pretty good at going underwater.
I was just having a thought from our discussion on the ship. If these people really thought highly of water, maybe there was something to do with building a temple next to a.
Decisions. As you guys mull that over for a second, we've got roughly an hour left. Let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break. Maybe you guys can come up with a game plan, and I'm going to try to find those rules real quick as well.
Looks
Alrighty.
like Ryukin posted them in our chat. For resting at least.
I found the skills, but I haven't found the exact results. It's discipline or cool after a battle. I'm pretty sure it's 1 success can recover a wound, and advantages can recover strain. And you get to choose either discipline or cool. For tonight, that's what we'll go with. So feel free to make your roll. If you get a success, you can recover any wounds that you have suffered. If you roll advantages, you can use that to buy back strain. And I will be right back.
I definitely need a new voice for Physic because that murdering my throat.
I need to work on consistently doing one. But I do like how that was creative.
I feel bad because I'm trying to play somebody who's a little bit more talkative because I'm not that in my other campaign, but now I just feel like I cut off a man and his children and no one else spoke up.
Please feel free to like take more point at any like cycle and discussion. I feel like I'm talking like a lot. I'm not trying to squash anybody if I am.
And I'm not trying to be too rude, so if there's an issue with anything that Arden says, definitely just like tell her to shut up. Oh yeah,
I
Fi.
imagined. God.
I'm sorry?
No, I was just gonna say, I imagined Fezzik would be kind of a quieter character, which works because that voice is really straining my throat, so it's hard to speak up. But yeah,
I
I do need.
hear. Sorry.
Our 5th party member has joined. The tiniest party member. What would his Star Wars name be, babe?
Probably something like Solari to do with the sun, but like scientific sound.
Dang, Fi.
What's that?
4 successes.
Right? I'm fully healthy.
Oh, nuts. So what would I roll that from?
Cool or discipline, your choice.
But okay. Okay, so what do I do with this?
So you can recover 1 wound and 3 strain.
What is with you and triumphs?
I'm just really, really good, but I'm not a good person, so. Oh no, Sunny! Party member number 5 is left.
So, any thoughts about exploring the lake or the temple?
I would say the lake, given like what we know already about there being a lot of fresh water and it kind of looking like an oasis kind of hidden area, but that's me.
I'm not sure one way or the other which is the better choice, but I do have the seascape diving suit. Let me go underwater for 6 hours if need be.
That's rad.
Well, I want to go check out the temple.
Well, we can do that then.
Well, we could always like maybe have Azur take a quick look at the lake while maybe the others go and examine the temple, but not go into it yet. Do your scholarly examination.
All right, what's the decision? Or split the party?
I think we're gonna sort of split the party.
At least Fi and Fez wanted to go look at the lake.
Okay, so we'll do temple first. So G and Arden, you guys move over towards the temple. You can see it's kind of smooth, dark surfaces. You guys are going to need some sort of light source as well, as your light source is moving away.
Move.
Can I use my lightsaber?
You absolutely can. So G pulls out the lightsaber. What color is your blade?
Green.
All right, so kind of an emerald green sheen now appears on the surface of the bottom portion of this ziggurat. You check all four sides, and on one, you see some sort of odd rune that's been carved into the surface. You may make a
Okay.
lore check.
Okay.
Difficulty 2. That triumph. Okay, and a success. So you're going to come across this. Arden, you are going to see, you see this rune, and you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is just some sort of kind of pictograph, though you can't exactly make out what it is designed like. It's basically 5 dots. Think of maybe like a constellation is going through your head. You start thinking of star charts and maps and those sorts of things. G, with your triumph, you are going to discover that you can't make out what the rune exactly means, but as you look at these points, you start to think about that dagger you had, and you remember the surgical like precision kind of slits that run down the lengths of the blade. If you were to manipulate it, perhaps.
Can I try and?
Yeah.
I can figure.
Absolutely. So you start kind of twisting the shaft a little bit, and you notice after it's going to take you a good 3-4 minutes to kind of figure out the inner workings. But as you kind of rotate the shaft in various directions. The blades start to separate, and it looks like you would be able to insert them into this object.
Okay. I'll tell Arden, let's wait for the others to get back
All
before
right.
we...
So jumping over to them. As Fezzik and Phi approach the lake, you are greeted by a visage of someone that you've met recently. Out maybe 20 meters, you see the Bith. He seems to be struggling in the water. You can hear him, help. I came to assist, but I need help. As the water starts to fill his lungs.
Phi will like slap. You said you. Hello? Did I disconnect?
No, I hear you.
Oh, my chat flickered a second. I'll say, he'll slap him on the back and you said you could swim. Go save him. Save him.
This seems really weird. Is there any way I can ascertain if I'm like hallucinating or something?
Well, as the Bith is far off, let's make some sort of roll here. Discipline. Difficulty 2.
Okay.
Because you know the Bith is far off, you will get a bonus, a boost die.
Okay.
You think that maybe he was foolish enough to come and assist.
All right, I will go ahead and attempt to swim out towards him.
All right. As you move closer, you can see what appears to be almost dark tendrils come up and surround his character. Please, quick. As more water fills in his lungs. You want to keep swimming? And Phi, what are you doing?
Yeah, Phi will run out, wading to his ankles or whatever and holding the glow rod as high as he can to kind of cast light where he's sinking underneath.
Okay.
If I can tread water for a moment, I'm going to try to shoot at the black tendrils that have popped up out of the water.
Okay. Range is going to be medium.
Okay. How does that work if my weapon's range is short?
You cannot fire at that distance. You will have to get closer. So you can spend one maneuver to move into short range and fire your weapon.
That's what I will do. What is the difficulty on that?
It is based off the range of your weapon, so 1.
Okay.
A solid strike as you fire your weapon, hitting and knocking against the tendril. It kind of darts up for a second, kind of wags and wavers in the air and plunges down below. The visage of the Bith is gone. You're going to suffer the strain that you had from your attack, plus an additional 2.
Actually, be canceled out because I do
Okay.
have the automatic advantage.
So you will suffer an additional 2 strain from the mental anguish that this trick has played.
Okay.
Does Phi suffer any?
Let's see. Because you are not close enough to the apparition, you will not suffer strain. But, I mean, you saw everything that happened. The Bith just vanished. you see your newly found companion just kind of treading water for a moment.
Well, did you hit him? I mean, go rescue him. Where did he go? What are you just standing around for?
I gotta drop that voice. It's killing me. Whatever that black tendril thing was seemed to be the only real thing under there.
Fi will kind of shed his overcoat and toss it onto the shore and wade out with them and plunge his head under the water and look around.
It is dark and it is murky. You may make a perception. It is going to be a 4 difficulty.
I don't think I could succeed this if I try, but I'm gonna try.
There are blanks.
Yep.
Are you kidding?
Look at that.
Well, you succeeded.
Okay, so as you look down below, it takes every last bit of strain. But you see down below, there is some sort of kind of obscured and hidden at first, but you see what appears to be some sort of hatch.
He'll kind of surface and splutter. There's something down there, a gateway or a hatch, or do you think he went down in there?
The question is, you suffered 7 strain.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, yes.
All right. Does that take you over your threshold?
No, sir. I'm
Okay.
10 out of 15.
All right.
Nice.
Can certainly take a look.
All right, going to try to swim down? Or are you going to look?
If he points in the general direction of where the hatch was, I can swim down to it.
Okay. So I believe that would be athletics. Not too incredibly difficult to swim through these waters, so we're going to put it at an average.
And I will point out, I don't know if that affects the difficulty at all, but the diving suit has the feature that you do not suffer movement penalties for traveling through water.
Very good. So within, let's see, without penalties, normally it would take 2 maneuvers to reach the bottom. You can do so with 1 maneuver.
Okay. And you said that was an athletics?
Yep,
with
average 2.
difficulty? Yeah.
Just information point. If I would know, like a glow rod would not that would work underwater or not.
Glow rods do work underwater. It just doesn't have the exact same effect as being in air.
Right. So he'll pass it off to Fezzik while he goes under.
All right, so Fezzik pops up and then down, swimming. He will reach the hatch at this point. You will see there seems to be some sort of keypad on the hatch. Does this suit allow you to breathe underwater?
For 6 hours, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
So I will attempt to use my lockbreaker hand to hack into the keypad.
All right. What sort of bonuses does it give?
Read it off here. Provides 1 rank in the bypass security talent and adds 1 boost die to skullduggery and computers checks made to defeat lock.
All right. So, in this case, let's do a computer check. Difficulty is going to be 2, and add your boost die. Another success. Suffer 1 point of strain as you use your apparatus to bypass this lock with pretty good ease. You can see that the area around you temporarily forms a bubble. The water that was there is drained out, and the hatch opens. Virus, you're up there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. For the other group, it's probably been about 5 or 6. Your companion has not come up.
Question, I know I have one. Would either of the girls have a comm link that we would have connected to each?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one.
All right. While he was, maybe as soon as Fezzik went down, he would have fished his out of his pocket on the shoreline and reached over to them and said that we had seen the Bith in the water and that Fezzik was down there exploring a hatch right now and asked them to get over there.
Shall we head over then, Arden?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
She'll kind of start sprinting on over.
Okay.
She doesn't have a comm link, but she probably heard from the other one.
All right. So the 3 are reunited, waiting on the shore.
If I stick my head under the water, do I see his light still, or has he gotten sucked?
Until he goes in, yes, you will see the light source, but it's hard to make out detail.
I would be probably for at least a minute or two kind of like waving the light, trying to get attention.
Okay.
Or I would
So
eventually give up and just go in.
So that kind of seems like coercion to me. So
Coerce me.
So we will put that at a difficulty 2 because you are underwater. We're going to give you a setback die, but you have that glow rod, so add a boost die.
Okay.
Up on the shore, you just see the light just kind of passing back and forth.
Could either I or maybe one of the others do like a perception type check to notice?
Yes, but because he failed his other check, you are going to be at 1 setback die, and we're going to put the difficulty at 3. Keep in mind, you guys do have force points.
Hey.
I forget. Do those reset every session?
So we build a pool every session, and these are spent freely. So when you guys spend a light side point, it flips over, and it becomes a dark side point for me to use, and likewise.
Okay, so it'll reset next go.
We will always build a pool, and it will always be back and forth. These points are to be spent very frequently.
Okay.
Essentially, they don't run out. They just, when you spend a point, that gives me a point to spend, and vice versa. So it's that constant back and forth.
Okie dokie. Take a perception check.
You absolutely can. Same difficulty. 3 difficulty and 1 setback die.
You could use the light point to upgrade it one.
That is correct. Do you wish to spend a light side point?
Which would I be upgrading? The
So
yellow or
the green would become one of your greens would become a yellow.
I'll spin.
Okay, so what you'll do is down at the bottom, you'll see the light side points. Drag it into the chat. Okay, so that flipped over to me, and then you're going to want to hit the green plus sign. There you go. Oh, so Arden,
There you go.
it comes to you. You know exactly what Fezzik is trying to do.
What you see, girly?
He's trying to gain your attention.
He's waving. I think he's got something, or he sees something maybe.
Alrighty then. And without a look back at them, Fi will dive in under the water.
All right. So we're going to bypass the rules here. As you guys swim down, you will see Fezzik. At this point, you would know pretty much how the controls work. You will be able to drop it, let them gain access into the bubble, drain the water, and have access into this hole, this hatch. There we go. As you guys descend into the hatch, kind of that musty water, some of it dripping off of the earth that seems to be carved out. You can see man-made carved steps in the earth that seem to descend. You guys travel forth for 30, 40 meters until you come into a large antechamber. Within this chamber, you see various mechanical and computer apparatus spread across the room. There is a large kind of hollow display, maybe 3 meters by 2 meters tall, very large. And you can see some of the power sources are around. There is currently no power, but that could change.
Well, this is a bit surprising to find underneath a lake, underneath a temple.
How are we supposed to get to it though?
You're already there.
Oh, derp.
I guess I will attempt to get some power to these devices.
Computers or mechanical?
I will go mechanical.
Okay, so you walk over to one of the generators. You're going to need to make a check. Difficulty 2, as they've been sitting here for a long time unused. It's going to take a little bit of extra effort. Give yourself 2 setback die.
Okay.
And your Hydro Spanner gives you 1 automatic success? Or 1 advantage, I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so 3 strain. All right, so after a few moments of tinkering, Fezzik gets the power running. You can hear it coursing through the machinery here. The hollow projector turns on. In the center of the room, part of the floor starts to rise, kind of Indiana Jones style, for that small pedestal. It spins and opens up. A smaller rectangular shape emerges from it, and it ends about chest level to a human.
Do we notice anything like feature-wise about it?
As you kind of examine over this object, in the top you see almost a four-pointed star symbol that kind of goes down into the shape. Think of it like a mold.
The weapon.
Yeah,
The
can
the the thing that he showed us, the story.
I take it you two found something on the temple?
yeah, there's a similar design where I was able to manipulate the tip of the point. It'll look like it was into those holes, so I can always try it down here as well. We didn't actually try it up there.
Okay.
Ah,
So Ji takes a few moments to manipulate this makeshift dagger that the party has assembled, places it into the apparatus, and with a slight turn, the screen turns on, and you will see flashing images. One. You see a space station that seems to be in disrepair. It will cut over to another image. A second station, judging by the size of these objects, you know them to be two separate stations. One is much larger than the other.
There any kind of systems I can check to see if there's star charts or anything that would indicate where these stations are?
You can make an outer rim knowledge check, difficulty 2.
Hmm. Nope.
Nothing comes to mind. Everyone is allotted this role if they wish.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
you could maybe, if you feel like you need it, you could do a light destiny point.
Oh, handedly.
You good, fam.
I know my shit.
That you do. You're going to gain knowledge mostly about one station, and you're going to know very little about the second. So, you recall hearing a story about a mysterious station that has been orbiting the galaxy of unknown origin. You've heard stories that on the interior, the size of a man is minuscule compared to the rooms, to the doors, to all sorts of the mechanical machinations. In your mind, one of the species that matches said description were the Rakata, and I can type that out if need. Though it may be KKATA. It's either a double K or a double T, I believe. So again, you know that it's orbiting around the outer rim. Where it is right now, it's hard to say. You've heard it referenced at one point called Center Point Station. It is not ricotta like the cheese. That's awesome. The other one, you've heard of stories of a sister station. It's rumored to be somewhere surrounded by black holes. That's all the knowledge you're going to know on that one.
Where was the first one supposed to be?
It is floating around somewhere in the outer rim. You do not know exactly where it is, but you've heard it called Center Point Station.
Would Center Point be the finished one or the one in disrepair?
Sorry, the larger one is the one that you know the most knowledge on. The smaller one is the one that's supposedly surrounded by black holes.
All right, well, key points us to planet, planet points us to space station.
Well, there is still the matter. Temple. Check clues.
You think it'll have another goose chase point, or maybe more helpful information?
To say for sure, we won't know until we go.
Are there any other notable, like keyholes or points within this chamber?
You guys spend several moments kind of looking around the room. Aside from just the old technology that's here, you're not really discovering anything. Though if somebody is froggy, they could make a computer use check to see if you can gain any more knowledge.
Gonna nose goes on that one.
Same. I'm not good at computer.
I could take a crack at it, but I'm getting off tired. Think it'll be worth it?
Can I give you a massage if it would help?
I think that would be more up Arden's skill set.
You don't know how I roll.
I know you're not getting paid for it.
You don't know me.
You don't know where I've been through.
Best deep tissue this side of the outer rim.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I can do the computers check if we.
All right, there's still a light side point on the table.
Yeah, you know what? Sure, I'll throw in the light side point too.
All right, so computer use, difficulty 3. Very good. 3. Boom. As he rolls
Big
all
money, no
strain.
whammies.
All strain.
Oh, it definitely
Big
will
money,
be.
no whammies.
Oh
Hey.
my God, you made success. All right. As you start tampering around with the computer, you're going to find essentially access to a small hollow projector. And it's going to flash several images very quick before it fizzles out and dies. The first of an elderly man. He's got kind of the Fu Manchu type beard, a hat on his head, very regally dressed. Next, it flashes over to a younger man, bald in nature. He has red streaks running down his eyes. At his side, you can see he is a warrior as he is prepared. It flashes to a scene of a young female. She is dressed in long, flowy robes. She is not dark like the previous man, as she's wearing almost a lightish blue kind of gown, her hair flowing. Then it flashes to a middle-aged woman. She's kind of hunched in the back. You can barely see her face as the hood is mostly covering, but there's something about her smile that just shivers run down your back. And then it flashes to another woman, younger than the middle-aged woman, but older than the younger woman. Is wearing very long and dark red robes, face painted white like a geisha. It would be pristine had it not been for the cracks that are all running through her face. The computer explodes.
Jesus.
I kind of pull Fezzik out of the way and make sure he doesn't pass out.
He seems fine for now.
Well, that one lost me. Did anyone follow?
Any of those people look at all familiar?
I will allow anyone who has a rank in lore to roll. However, the difficulty is 4.
Oh, sure, why not?
I have no lore. Do it, G. Do it.
Hey.
Wow.
Force is with us.
Okay, it definitely is. Ji takes a moment to not just think, gets in almost a meditative stance, calms the emotions around them, and starts to think and spread their awareness out to the other characters. This person's just sitting down, but you search through every last tome, every manuscript, every flimsy, every book that you've been fortunate enough to get your hands on, and you remember a story of gruesome carnage, of the beginning, of a group of think of them as dark side users. No, something much worse. A group that has been working behind the scenes in the galaxy, just causing and sowing chaos. But that's just a story.
I'll tell the group that it's basically just like a old legend.
But it can't be a legend if there's photographs, right?
Was it a picture book you read this in?
It wasn't one particular place. They were just searching the culmination of knowledge that they've gained over many, many years of study.
Right, no, that was just supposed to be sarcastic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, would these be high quality production images they used in that children's book?
They look pretty real to me. I don't know.
Alright, so we have another destination and a ghost story. That's interesting.
Wonder what
Yep.
connection is to the stations, if there is any.
And how both got into an ancient, locked, vaulty room under a lake.
Regardless, often in times with legends, there is some truth.
You never really know.
One place we might look, you said you found another keyhole up at the surface?
Yeah, but the temple.
Yeah, It looked like it was about the same design shape as what uh the guy who hired us showed us. Four-sided and everything.
Let's check then.
All right. So you guys go back out much the same way that you came in. You make your way to the surface, over to the temple. You adjust this artifact, place it into the temple itself, and with a small turn, a door opens. Going inside?
Why not, man?
When
Ladies first.
Fine.
All right. As you enter into this ziggurat, it's mostly hollow within this room, save for one pedestal in the center. The room is not very large.
Can we all fit in there, or is it just
You
one or-
can, and you all basically can slide into one of the corners. You can touch the pedestal from where you are. Engaged range, essentially. On the pedestal, the top comes up, similar to how it was down below, but instead of being almost that knife shape, it is kind of smoothed out like a bowl-like surface. There is writing on the sides. It's not the same description on each, but as you kind of read it through, you get you ascertain this. Offer thy crimson, gift bestowed. Offer fealty, darkness foretold.
Is it asking us for a blood sacrifice, or am I crazy?
Unless they were just a big fan of strawberry flavored drink.
That's not red, you moron. That'll be pink.
Well,
Nose goes to who's putting that in there.
isn't I don't have a knife on me, but I'm assuming someone has a sharp object.
Well, we've got
It's
the dagger.
not a lightsaber.
Is the dagger still in the wall of the temple, or did we get
No.
it back?
You removed it.
Okay, so we can use that to good bash into, I guess, probably me, because I'm the only one that's not super hurt at all.
Alright, I'll do a little pokey poke. I'll take the dagger and kind of jab one of the sharp points against a thumb and wet it a bit and put it in the bowl and see if it does any.
Upon the first drop, the pedestal starts to shake and vibrate. It condenses down in an instant, as though some sort of like a hydroelectric engine kicked in and sucked it down. Above you, the ceiling opens, and floating down of its own accord, in the shape of what we would consider a D4, is an amalgamation of glowing red and black lights surrounded in almost a silvery binding. It gently floats down and sets upon the floor.
Well, it's yours now, Spy. Your problem. You picked that shit up.
My parents never let me have a pet. Can I reach out and touch it? Am I gonna die?
You have some witnesses. It'll be fine. At least if you die, we can tell everybody.
G, your senses kick in. You feel the coldness of this room. As you notice the other companions as they speak, small puffs of air are now visible.
I say, wait, don't touch yet.
But I was told it's mine. I can touch it if I want.
Something doesn't feel right here. I sense a disturbance in the force.
Well, if you sense a disturbance, then of course I'm gonna touch it anyway.
No.
You
Well, that
immediately
last part
turn
was
to Ash.
extra.
No, I'm kidding.
Reroll a new
I reach
pair.
out to try to stop him, and I'm wait a minute. It was my blood, it's mine.
Are we just like stopping each other?
Yes, basically.
Quickly, Arden, it's open for you to touch.
Okay, at this point, both Phyrus and Fezzik make me cool checks. Difficulty 3.
Yikes.
This should. Hey.
All right. So you were both overcome momentarily by almost a deep desire for this object. But as you kind of put 2 and 2 together and come to your senses, you realize it was just kind of, yeah, this was just kind of in jest, right?
Maybe we shouldn't touch it, huh?
That was
What's
head
changed your
trippy for a
mind?
moment.
Did you feel that too, Fez? Like for a moment, kind of just playing, but then I did want it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He'll look at G as like, I'm not a big hocus pocus person, but something that's messing with my feelings gets me worried.
If we can't touch it, how are we gonna, like, bring it back? Do we bring it back?
I just like heft up my Hydra spanner. Could always smash it.
Let's not do that either.
Not yet, anyway.
We could definitely shoot it when we're out of the room, though.
Yeah, let's wait a minute.
What do you say, Miss Wizard?
Has it been doing anything while it's just like sitting there?
The colors on the inside are just swirling in almost a hypnotic pattern. The crimson changing to black to crimson.
I have no idea if this is going to do anything or not, but thinking about the second part of what we read, I'm going to take a knee in front of it.
Okay. It does not react, at least not immediately.
Does it need more? Maybe? She hesitates and then joins him.
No reaction from the object.
Fi's gonna back up and start kind of clearing out of the little chamber.
Okay.
Does his head feel any different when he leaves its close proximity?
Your head, not really. As you kind of step outside, I don't know if you let's say in real life you forgot something in the car and it's kind of chilly outside, so you step outside for just a moment, you feel that cold, and then but when you go back into the warm house, you can immediately tell that temperature difference. You feel that difference.
Huh. Okay. Hey, G, step outside with me.
Okay, I'll step outside.
You also feel the difference in temperature.
You feel a bit more centered?
I did notice it did seem much colder on the inside.
Putting two and two together here, and this doesn't sound like something pleasant, right?
Most things aren't pleasant.
I'm gonna defer to your call on this. Magic's not my forte. Do you think we should take it with us or lock it back up and
Well,
Arden, Fezzik, as you guys are in there, I need you both to make me discipline checks. Difficulty 3. One failure. 2 failures.
Ooh.
It's no good.
G and Phyrus, you both see this happen. Both Fezzik and Arden reach for the object.
Fi is gonna lunge. Probably miss because he's far away, but lunge for Arden to try and stop.
Okay, so
can I force move and bring the object out of the room?
yes. And Phi, I need you to make me an athletics check. Difficulty 2. And G will have to work on your power here.
Just use one of those.
Even with the force, it did not appreciate me.
Okay. Is it a roll that is done with this force ability?
No, it's just you use the force point. The light side token. It just
Oh, okay.
use that.
Yep. So go ahead and roll. You're looking for that light side. So it would just be the force die. All right. So here's what happens. As this scene manifests itself, as you two are outside discussing what could possibly be, what is goes on in the room, as Fezzik and Arden are both kneeling, nearly in unison. They both reach for the object. Fyrus, seeing this unfold, yells "No!" as he charges in, tries to bull rush Arden off of this object, but too much has happened too quickly. As he tries to plow her over, completely misses, smashing into the wall. G, as you try to pull and yank this object away, whatever dark machinations are afoot is just too strong or too fast for you to react. They touch this object. It opens up all 3 sides and light emits out, and spreading into the room, you can see visages of the women dressed in the long, dark red robes. They are chanting and laughing as they dance around the room. Everything stops for a moment. Everyone unsure what is exactly going to happen next. The twinkle in Arden and Fezzik's eyes as they gaze upon this forbidden relic. And just as quickly as it started, everything, all the air, everything in the room just is sucked back into this object as it closes.
Are we okay?
No physical or mental damage is done.
He'll kind of pick himself off the ground and like push on Arden's shoulder.
What? I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, not doing anything, my ass. You just touched the thing.
I did?
Yeah, are you gonna grow a third eye? You seeing visions of your destiny? What's going on?
I'm assuming both her and the other one were they aware of it? Were they trans?
Everyone saw this unfold.
Right, but the two that touched it, are they cognizant that they?
You know exactly what was going on.
Okay.
You have every recollection, though it maybe not. You maybe question whether it was of your own volition. You know that you touched the object.
I touched the butt. Okay. Oh, I did. I didn't mean to. It just happened.
As the party is left kind of standing there, almost completely without word, not knowing how to kind of break the ice in a situation like this, everyone knows one thing's for certain. If you do not take this object, eventually those above will find it.
Alright, well, let's get the lady in red projector into the ship and let's have a talk with our employer.
Scene skip. As you guys make your way back into the ship, you head over and talk to the dock workers, clearing everything for landing. As you guys start to move towards your ship at medium distance, you see a familiar friend. It is Jet Nova, and he's brought back up. At first, it seems like he's going to talk to you guys, but as your dealings with him, the transition seemed pretty good, and then all of a sudden the Hutts are after you. Something is afoot. Initiatives, and that's where we're going to start next session.
Do we want to roll them or do it next time?
We'll do it next time. I won't make you guys mull over like, oh god, I only got one success. All right, so